I've gotten a lot of people asking me about new construction, and I thought this was a very good time to talk about what the current state of Virginia Beach's new construction landscape looks like, because it could be vastly different to what you might have experienced in a different state, different part of the country, because a lot of places in the country have a lot of new construction. Virginia Beach, it's kind of weird. And so we'll go into all the details about new construction in Virginia Beach as far as current, what's happening in the market, what's available. I mean, goodness sakes, what's available. And then show you where those neighborhoods are that do have opportunities to find new construction, and the price ranges too. That's a big question that often people ask me. And there are also attached new construction. Maybe it's attached condo style or townhouse style in Virginia Beach. Same kind of thing. Not as many in the area, but there are some. We'll talk about some of those too. So the idea first is to know that in new construction in Virginia Beach, it is generally scarce. And it's almost so scarce to the point that you think, I must be missing something. Where is the new construction? And the fact of the matter is there are new construction houses being built, but man, there are so few neighborhoods, and there are some other new construction that's being built, but there are a lot of differences with the houses and where they are. So what I want to first mention is that there are kind of three general categories of new construction in Virginia Beach. The first is just a whole big neighborhood where you've got the builder that's building dozens of houses or more in different phases. You can pick your lot, you can pick your interior, you can pick your colors, all that stuff. And that is, and then you're also in a neighborhood, and it's a big new construction neighborhood, and it feels like that. That's one. The next one is a smaller version of that, where you've got a neighborhood technically, but it's a smaller, like, maybe 10 houses, 8 houses, 15 houses, or maybe 4 houses in a neighborhood that are together, but it's not the drastic, huge, big complex or big, community that you'll find in a bigger neighborhood of new construction. Then you'll find on individual lots across the city, individual houses that are new construction built in pre-existing neighborhoods. And they could be 70-year-old neighborhoods. They could be 20-year-old neighborhoods. They could be, a vast variety of types of neighborhoods. But the idea is that it's one lot, a new house on that lot, and you basically buy what the builder is building, most likely. And then you say, well, why would they build this random house in a random place? The answer is that's where the land is available, and so builders aren't necessarily able to pick and choose where they build. If they have an opportunity and the lot is for sale and they can get the access to it and they can build a house on it, they'll probably do that. And you might say, well, this is a weird house to build new construction on. It's just a weird spot. It's all that. The idea is that there is nothing perfect about these types of situations, but if you do want a new house, these are some options that you can pick. So where is it all, Sam? Let's first talk about new construction houses that are built in pre-existing neighborhoods or not in a full new construction development. I think the main thing to first note is that where these houses are built are kind of across the whole area. I'll show you an example on, this is the MLS right now as far as what's available on the market right now for new construction that are not in new construction neighborhoods. And you'll see that they're kind of scattered all over the place. And it really, again, comes down to what lots are available, right? Where the lots are. And I think one thing to note with that is that sometimes these lots are in weird spots. When you do see these individual houses built in pre-existing neighborhoods on vacant lots, you have to be prepared for a vast variety of potential outcomes as far as where these houses are, what types of models they are. The whole thing is very, very random. And so just be prepared for that. So if you buy a new house in these types of situations, know that you're not only you're buying potentially a random house in an older neighborhood, so it might feel kind of weird, but also you're paying most likely the most expensive price for that neighborhood that there is, because new construction is usually priced differently, appraised differently compared to other houses in the neighborhood, because what they're doing is they will value this new construction house comparing it to other new construction houses around it. And when there aren't any new construction houses around it, they will often then look outside of the neighborhood to find value as well. So it's like this own little mini market for new construction that's sprinkled in and around other neighborhoods. You'll see often a new construction house that's like $650,000 or $700,000 built in a neighborhood that's $500,000 or something along those lines. And so that happens quite a bit. And these are just little things to keep in mind when you buy new construction in these types of areas. It's just a lot of randomness. And then when you do go to sell the house, keep in mind too that when you sell it, it's not necessarily new anymore, right? And so that newness, the luster sometimes loses a little bit. And so people that want newer houses, that's what they had to choose from sometimes. But if they want something brand new, it's just not new anymore. So it's just sometimes based on wherever the house is, the floor plan, it can be harder to sell these houses in certain circumstances. Now, the cost for a lot of these individual houses in pre-existing neighborhoods, there's one under $500,000. Most new construction is going to be starting in the $650,000 range to start with. And it really goes up fast from there. There aren't too many under $7. There aren't too many under even $725,000. Once you get into the $750,000 and up range, that's when you start seeing more new construction, whether it be individual houses in pre-existing neighborhoods or neighborhoods, period. When you actually add in all the upgrades, it doesn't usually end up to be the same price as what you see on the MLS. So most new construction houses in Virginia Beach are going to start in the 4-bedroom price range, or they're going to start at 4 bedrooms. There are going to be maybe a couple that might be sprinkled in that are 3 bedrooms. Most of them will be 4 and 5 bedrooms. And that's just the kind of the widest range of people that are looking for that type of house. And that's why you usually see those. And also too, the bigger they can build and they can get the most money for those houses, usually they'll end up doing that. And that's why you usually see bigger houses also. Now, if you want new construction attached, like a condo style, some of what you would find with single family, you'll find some that are scattered through the area, some like individual condo style that are maybe closer to the beach. But then there are a couple neighborhoods built by Dragus. One is Hawkins Mill at Haygood, and another is Guilford at Spence Crossing. So Spence Crossing is the most popular of the two, I think, but these two are mostly 2 to 3 bedroom condos. They're in the $300,000 to $400,000 price range. That's pretty much all there is for attached neighborhoods in new construction. The next is there's one neighborhood on the market right now called River Lake that I want to talk to you about. That is the example of that smaller neighborhood, like a few houses in and around another larger area, you know. And River Lake is in an area in near across from Stumpy Lake. So if you zoom out, here's Virginia Beach, zoom in, this is Indian River Road right here. There's a neighborhood right here next to Stumpy Lake, and it's right here, Denali Lane. So the corner of here, this is actually a kind of a newer part of a new-ish neighborhood. So right in Denali Lane right here, so River Lake, you'll see several new construction houses that are being built back in this corner. They have expected completion times of spring 2025, and so that's another thing to keep in mind is that most of these are not necessarily being built or finished. So you'll see them in different processes. Sometimes they haven't been built yet. Sometimes they are in the middle of process. And then with that being said, based on how far into the process they are with that construction, you then can pick more or less things in that house out. And sometimes you'll see online pictures of houses that aren't even starting construction yet. And they do that by showing a like model in a different location, but showing you the picture of that model. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that is where the house is. You're going to be starting the upper 6s up into the 8s, the low 8s. And so again, depending on what you pick out for options and all those types of things, it could affect the cost out the door. But the starting prices are going to be in the upper 6s. Now, the next neighborhood I want to talk about is called Prosperity at the Pines, and that is over closer to Dam Neck, over near General Booth Boulevard. And so going to where that is very, very, very close to the Oceana Air Station. So you zoom in over here, there's Oceana. There is a neighborhood I like a lot called Park Place over here. Right around the corner is Prosperity at the Pines, right near the corner of General Booth and Prosperity Road in the neighborhood right here, Nero Way, right here. This is, the builder is Bouchard, and again, it's right off of Prosperity Road. I've seen where these houses are, and the location, again, and this is another example of one of those neighborhoods that is a smaller neighborhood, not very big. It's not a big, huge development, but this is what's available with new construction. It's one of the closest options you'll find for brand new houses all together in a cluster. These are going to be anywhere starting the mid 7s up into the mid 8s, and of course going up from there. You got 24 to 3,000 square feet for these floor plans. You have multiple floor plans to pick from also. So I think you'll find that for the price, I think it's probably a good value construction-wise. The issue I find with where these houses are located is the jet noise. And also, again, it's a new construction neighborhood, but it's small. It's right near the Wawa. So you see, zoom out, right? You're kind of right behind the Wawa right there. And you're close to General Booth Boulevard. And it's busy, convenient, but also very busy. Now, the jet noise being so close to Oceana, I mean, you're in the highest jet noise zone, 75 plus decibels. And you can check on the ACU's jet noise zone map too, so you can see the same thing I'm talking about. But you're right across down the street from Oceana. So of all the things that are to me a detriment, I would say that's just a drawback to me. And again, the price for what all that together is kind of annoying also. You're going to be paying a little bit less for a house in Park Place around the corner near the back. Now, again, that's not a new construction house, but that's a neighborhood development that even has access to Red Wing Park, actual park access. So I think the construction, I think you'll like. The drawback might just be where it is in relation to what you're paying, and also just the jet noise and all that stuff. Then that leads us to the big neighborhood in Virginia Beach that is a new construction neighborhood that's still being developed. It is Asheville Park. And that is over closer to Oceana and Kellam, where the line is, further down south. You see Sandbridge Road. You see this is Heritage Park. This is Asheville Park down below there. This whole thing right here. This is all Asheville Park. And so there are different types of neighborhoods in Asheville Park that are already built, in the last 10, 12 years. Rainier Village on the south side, which is the smaller houses, 7 and 8 price range mostly, smaller lots. And then you've got Wilshire Village on the north side, which has a bit more higher priced and usually starting in the 8s, 9 and over $1 million, larger lots and all that. But then if you go in the back, going all the way down Asheville Park Boulevard, down around the cul-de-sac here, back into the corner, this is all new construction back here that is in construction. Some have finished. There's a vast variety of houses that have been finished, sold, people live there, about to finish, in the middle of the process, haven't been built yet, still vacant lots to pick. So you have a bunch of variety here to choose. You have models you can look at, multiple models, and the prices in here start at about $1 million. Once you're all said and done with upgrades and options, you're probably talking closer to 1.15 to 1.2. You could, go chintz on a lot of those upgrades and get cheaper. But again, the idea is that usually doesn't happen. House sizes are mostly going to be 4 and 5 bedrooms, mostly just under 3,000 square feet to like 335 and even higher, over 4,000 in some specific circumstances. But those prices are going to be higher. The highest you'll see model-wise in Asheville Park are in the 1.25 to start range. But again, keep in mind that tack on an extra $100,000+, probably closer to 1.4 is when that house is all finished, when it's all said and done, possibly even higher than that. And you've got an HOA, you got the pool, you've got common areas, you've got the clubhouse, you got playgrounds also. And in addition to that, you also have a cable and internet package that is with Cox that is built into the HOA as well. So when you see the HOA fees being over $300, which they are, the reason is because part of that's factoring in that cable and internet package. So it can be kind of annoying if you don't want that package, because if you're cord cutting, you're paying for cable anyway. So that can be a little bit of annoyance. But point being is that this is a very in-demand spot. I think that if you're paying for a spot new construction wise, if it's me, I would consider this if the money is there. You're in Kellam High School District as well, which is one of the most in-demand school districts in all of Virginia Beach. So you're checking a lot of boxes here. And even the lots are about 1/3 of an acre, and they're not as small as you might see in other neighborhoods or even new construction in Asheville Park in some cases too. So while it's expensive, it is really the only option for a big neighborhood that there is in Virginia Beach right now, which is crazy. It's crazy to think how few neighborhoods there are in Virginia Beach that are new construction. And so that could change over time. But if you do want to pivot for new construction to other places, I would consider Chesapeake. There are some other spots in Chesapeake that we can get into that are in phases and that have just more of a new construction feel than compared to what you might find totally in Virginia Beach. So just a frustrating time to find a lot of options in Virginia Beach new construction. So if you have any other questions about relocating to Virginia Beach or anywhere through Hampton Roads, let me know. It's what I do. I love helping people relocate to the area. So if you have any questions, I have my contact information in the description. You can call me, email, or text me, and I'll do whatever I can to help you relocate to the area. And I will see you on the next video.